Good morning, world. Welcome to the shining light. Do you know when life begins? Can you explain when life begins with confident assurance and then defend your position with solid, clearly demonstrable, provable scientific facts against all challenges? After the United States Supreme Court legalized abortion in 1973, this question has been a matter of considerable public debate. When does life really begin? Does life begin at conception, at the end of the first trimester, at the end of the second trimester, at birth? Can we ever really know? I mean, demonstratively, provably, really know for certain when life begins. It may surprise you to learn that the answer to these questions is a resounding yes. Science has well understood and has proven these things beyond any question a long time ago. Yes, science has demonstrated and proven beyond any possible doubt exactly when life begins. Yet many of these folks do not want to accept the inescapable conclusion that the proven facts bring, and therefore they choose to ignore the meaning of these facts. The scientific facts. A complete human cell has 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46 individual chromosomes. The human egg cell produced by the female has only 23 individual standalone chromosomes. Therefore, the egg cell has only one half of the total of 46 chromosomes found in a complete human cell. The human sperm cell produced by the male also has only 23 individual standalone chromosomes. Therefore, the sperm cell has only one half of the 46 total chromosomes to be found in a complete human cell. Neither the egg cell nor the sperm cell has the needed full 23 pairs or 46 chromosomes to make a complete human cell. Each one of them has only one half, that is, the sperm and the egg each have only one half of the number of chromosomes needed to produce a complete human cell. In order to produce offspring, the sperm cell produced by the male must join with the egg cell produced by the female, and the 23 standalone chromosomes from the male must join and combine with the 23 standalone chromosomes from the female egg to form 23 complete pairs of chromosomes, which result then in forming a complete human cell. The truth is that it takes two to reproduce life in all sexually reproducing species: a functional, fertile male and a functional, fertile female. Once the sperm cell is joined to the egg cell, the 23 standalone chromosomes in the sperm cell will randomly pair off with the 23 standalone chromosomes in the egg cell, producing a viable, complete human cell of 23 pairs of chromosomes, which will then begin to grow through the process of cell division until a complete human child is formed. It is just that simple. Whether it is people, human beings, or whether it is elephants, or chickens, or ostriches, it takes two, a male and a female, to reproduce. Many of you have heard the question, Which came first, the chicken or the egg? If you ask your teachers or scientists that question, they will laugh at you and say that there is no provable answer. In fact, the answer is so simple and so clear and so obvious that any child would know it. That is, if he had not been programmed from birth to believe that there was no provable answer. In fact, each and every one of us knows the answer, or could know the answer, if we would choose to think about it with an open mind, unconstrained by the mental blocks implanted by our teachers. To illustrate the answer to the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg, the question can be rephrased. And we could ask, who came first, us or our parents? When you put the question that way, the answer immediately becomes obvious. Your parents came first and they made you. It is manifestly impossible for you to have come first before your parents, since it takes two, a male and a female, to produce children. And neither can the egg or baby chick come before its parents, because it takes two, a male and a female, to produce a fertile egg. Your two parents made you, just like the two parents of the chicken made the fertile egg. We know this because it takes two, a fully formed, already living, fertile male, and a fully formed, already living, fertile female, coming together to produce offspring in all sexually reproducing species. The very same process takes place in every sexually reproducing species, from eagles to crocodiles to human beings and even to chickens. There is no way that the egg could come first, because it takes two, a fully formed, living, fertile male and a fully formed, living, fertile female, coming together to produce a fertile egg and generate offspring. The egg could not have come before the chicken, any more than you could come before your parents or the offspring of any other sexually reproducing species could come before its parents. It takes two to reproduce in all sexually reproducing species. Now that the how of reproduction has been explained, we can move on to the question of the when life begins. Does life begin at birth, or at a certain number of weeks into the pregnancy, or does it begin at conception? Science understands this and has proven these things beyond any question. Let us now do a simple experiment. Let us take a living egg and immerse it in millions of dead sperm cells. Will one of those dead sperm cells unite with the living egg and produce a complete 23 chromosomal pair human cell? Will that cell now grow into a child? No, absolutely not. Let us try this the other way. Let us take millions of living sperm cells and place them with one dead egg cell, or thousands of dead egg cells. Will one of those living sperm cells unite with the dead egg and produce a complete 23 chromosomal pair human cell? Will that cell now grow into a child? No, absolutely not. Friends, this is absolute scientific fact. This is not speculation. It is not my opinion. It is proven, clearly demonstrated, long understood scientific fact. It takes an already living sperm cell joining with an already living egg cell passed on from already living parents to produce a complete living human cell that will grow into a child. No, life does not begin at birth or at a certain number of weeks into a pregnancy, nor does it begin at conception. Life began with the very first male-female pair of each kind of creature, who then passed on that life within them on to their offspring, and that same life, which was in the very first human couple, has been passed on from generation to us, and we pass that same original spark of life on to our own children. This is also true of every sexually reproducing species. Life began with the first male and female and has been passed on from generation to generation since then. Life does not come from non-life. Life comes from life. That is a scientific fact which is called the law of biogenesis. During fertilization, the chromosomes from the sperm and egg cells unite together, pairing off and combining to form a new and unique human being. Nevertheless, the spark of life is the same original spark that was placed in the first man and the first woman. First, it takes two, a living, fully formed, functional, and fertile male, and an already living, fully formed, functional, and fertile female, to produce offspring. That is true of human beings and all sexually reproducing species. Second, with each new combination of sperm and egg comes a new combination of chromosomes, producing a unique and new being. However, this same original spark of life has been passed on from generation to generation from the very first couple. This means that 1. Human life began with the first man and woman, and in the original pairs of all sexually reproducing species, and that life existed from the beginning and was passed on from parents to offspring through all generations. Second, because of the recombining of chromosomes, a completely new and unique human being begins its existence at conception. The argument is about the source of that original life. If life comes from life, and life cannot come from non-life, where did that first life originate? Now consider, without the presence of an already living, fully formed, functional, and fertile male, and an already living, fully formed, functional, and fertile female, there can be no reproduction. And without reproduction, there are no generations in which species may evolve. The odds against the evolution of sexual reproduction and against both male and female popping into existence, appearing together at the same time, fully formed and fully functional, the odds against this are greater than there are atoms in the universe squared. Since evolution is speculated to take place over millions of generations, without reproduction there can be no evolution. All creatures must have come into existence, both male and female, at the same time, and the first spark of life must have been placed into them by a creator. There is absolutely no possibility that evolution is true. Sexual reproduction in humans and the millions of animal species proves the existence of a creator God beyond any question. And the fact that pre-existing life is passed on to a new, completely unique combination of chromosomes, a new and completely innocent person at conception, should resolve the debate on abortion. God forbids the deliberate taking of an innocent life. Period.